Hey guys, Anna and Dave at Roseanne's Kitchen Table, and as the year wraps up, we wanted to tell you about our personal best and worst moments of the year. So I'm going to let you go first on this one. You want to start good or bad?
Let's start with bad.
All right, let's do it. Start with bad, go.
All right, I would say my worst moment, I'm going to do two for worst moments. Career-wise was when we actually reported on an email that was obtained through the Sony hack. That was really classless on my part, and I felt really bad about it after we did it. I don't know why I chose to do that story. It was such an invasion of privacy. And so, professionally, I think that was my worst moment.
Yeah, now you did correct that because you took the video down. What, was it up even 24 hours?
I'm not sure how long it was up, to be honest with you, because I never keep track of that kind of stuff, but it was up. You know, it was public and people saw it, and we fed into that terrible, terrible situation. And so I regretted it, and when I do something wrong, I will admit it, and I'm very remorseful.
What caused you? Was it like, right? Because sometimes when we're talking on camera, like you start saying things and then you realize that you're sort of regretting or you're going to regret what you're saying. When the segment was done, were you like, that's the moment, or did it take a little while?
It took a while, and I want to thank, I don't remember your handle on Twitter, but there was someone who tweeted to me, and he made a really great point. He said, if you're so against the celebrity nude hack, then why is it okay for you to be in favor of the Sony hack and then leak or report what was obtained through that hack? And I was like, you know what? This person is 100% right, and I'm an idiot. That was a huge lapse of judgment. So that was not a shining moment for me.
And you know what, real quick, we were talking about the NSA before and this whole privacy thing and everything else, and it's like, if any of us want any degree of privacy, if someone's gonna hack into Sony and then we're gonna talk about their emails or share their pictures or whatever it is, well then we have no right, if someone was to hack into your personal email and spread it all over, you would have no right to not be upset by that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there you go. So that's one for you. And what was the other?
So the other thing is personal. I would say another bad moment in this year was the decision to join Tinder. Tinder was fucking terrible. No one should join it. I don't even know if it's like a popular dating app anymore. But I met some of the scummiest people through Tinder, and
you were going crazy when you were on Tinder. Like there was like a month where you were on there, and first off, you never picked up your head because you were just swiping constantly. You developed that horrible carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
And just telling me about all these guys over and over. I got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I kind of went nuts because for the first time I was single like 7 years, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out on all these dates, and it's gonna be freaking awesome. And then you go out on all these dates, and you realize what's out there. And I don't think that Tinder's an accurate representation of the guys out there.
Right.
I think that it attracts a certain demographic.
Right.
But it was not
Did every guy
good.
on there just want to have sex at the end of the day?
No, it was the opposite issue with me. I mean, every time I met some guy that I was actually really interested in, he was like too timid and afraid to make a move. And I was like, what is up with you? I don't understand. No, believe it or not, a lot of the guys on Tinder were pretty respectful toward me. I didn't really get a lot of negative messages or anything like that. It was just when I went out on dates and I realized that there was a lack of ambition among a lot of people, okay?
Yeah.
And that's not to say that like, oh, he doesn't have a job, he's a loser. That's not the case. It was just a lack of goals, ambition. I need fire, and none of them had that.
Goals and ambition right here. So she needs goals and ambition. For me, we talked about this on The Point a couple weeks ago. My worst moment of the year is that a friend of mine, who was a good friend when we were much younger, but then our families are very close, and I stayed in contact with him over these last couple of years, basically had a drug problem, was in and out of rehab kind of thing, and he ended up dying this year. And my regret, so the worst moment was him dying, but my regret, as I told you on The Point, was that I didn't do more. I don't know what I could have done. I lived 3,000 miles away from him. We didn't have that great contact. But in the course of the last couple of years, where maybe there were moments that I could have done something, I don't even know that that's like a real thing. But just that feeling of like, someone that you know so closely, dying somewhat related to drugs and all that, like it just brings up a lot of stuff. So I think that was.
Yeah, I mean, that's freaking hard. And I have a really good friend whose brother is addicted to a lot of hard drugs. And the unfortunate thing is, there's really nothing you can do. They have to, want help in order for the habit to change.
All right, well, so from that to our best moments, give me something good.
I'm glad that we started with the bad stuff.
Yeah,
we
did this right.
End the video with negative stuff. So let's end on a good note.
Well played, Kasparian.
Yes,
well played.
So I would say I had a lot of great moments this year. I reflect back on a trip that I took with my friend to Spain, and I got to experience the culture and the wonderful people. I went to France with Cenk Uygur, host of the Young Turks, for a media conference, and I got to bond with him in a different setting, which was nice. I taught another journalism class. I freaking love that. But I would say the highlight of this year was a conversation I had with you that I'll never forget. And it was after I had been single for a while. I'd been on a bunch of really bad dates, and I was getting kind of depressed because I thought I was going to be alone forever, which is a ridiculous thing to think for anyone. And then Dave is like, you're not going to be alone forever, okay? But let's say that does happen, okay? Look at your life. Your life is so full. And I hadn't even realized it until you said it. And you mentioned like the friends that I have, the family that I have, the job that I have, and all these like busy moments, and how not having a relationship isn't the end of the world. And that really taught me something. That was basically the start of me really appreciating solitude and being alone and being comfortable with, being a single person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I just want to say that I did not set Anna up to say that. So
You did not.
I'm humbled. I'm almost as good as Reese Witherspoon.
You are.
Why can't I say Reese Witherspoon? Reese Witherspoon? It doesn't come up. We did something about Reese Witherspoon earlier. We'll annotate back to that. Well, thank you. That's really nice to hear. And but that's the thing, actually, because I remember I know exactly where we were.
Yeah.
We were on La Cienega, like right before the Beverly Center, and you were going on, and I was looking at you, just thinking. Like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it was so obvious to me, like, actually what the truth was, and you just needed, like, a little...
I needed someone to kind of slap me in the face with the truth, and that's what you did in a very polite way.
Yeah, all right, well, pretty good. Well, so my best moment, clearly, that thing right there.
Yay!
Did get engaged a couple weeks ago. A round of applause from the crowd. Yeah, like, it was a long time. I've been with my boyfriend for about 4 years or so. I never really thought about it. But actually, I can even figure out linking this to one conversation that we had where we went out for brunch one day, and you kind of asked me something about it. And I had a few conversations over the last like 6 months with some good friends where people were just like, are you going to do it? All right. Like, it became obvious to them. And then what it made me realize was it would say more about me if I didn't do it. Like, we're great. I don't think, I don't even think the paper necessarily and all that traditional stuff is that important. Like, we live a good life. It's all good. But when it started becoming obvious to other people, my uncle, who never talked to me about relationships or anything, was like, are you going to do it?
Yep.
Then a few other people, then it was just like, oh, like, and that's sort of, that ironically, I think, is why gay marriage is so important, because if you want people, because first off, everyone should just be equal. That just goes without saying. But also, if you want people's lives to like be able to mature and like keep moving forward and everything, I can see it already just in a couple weeks of this. Like, my life's going to go into a new phase. So like that definitely was a positive moment.
I love that you guys got engaged, and the story was super sweet, and
you get to benefit from a lot of his cooking because you are our number one house guest.
Not only his cooking, okay. The person who is the EP of this show is also the EP of The Point, and he is the best. Okay, David Janet, you are the bomb.
He's sitting right over there.
He is.
We're not going to show him because he's very humble and good, decent person, not like these two egomaniacs right here. What was your best moment of 2014? What was your worst moment of 2014? Let us know in the comments right down below.